At this very moment, 4 years ago, the people of New Orleans were going through hell. All around, signs of death, desperation, and cries for help. It was just days after the worst natural disaster in the U.S. in recent memory, Hurricane Katrina. There was water virtually everywhere, and victims endured deplorable conditions, including at the Superdome. Enter Lieutenant General Russell+Honoré. He led the military response, and now, amid Katrina's 4-year anniversary, we look back at the city's progress, even ponder what may be next for Honoré himself. He is putting to rest speculation about his political ambitions.
I'm not running for Senate. I've never said I was running for Senate. And I applaud those who take the courage to serve their nation, those in Louisiana that will run and have the courage to run. I encourage them to do so, but I have no personal plans to run for Senate.
Do you have any political ambitions, any office that you could see in your future?
There are things that I dream about, but they will remain to be dreams until I get my family moved and we figure out what we're going to do the next few years.
You won't give us a little hint at this moment what your dreams may be, or we'll just wait a little while longer?
That's why they're dreams, Suzanne.
Okay. Obviously, we are looking at the 4-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. There are some things in New Orleans where we see improvements, job numbers, housing, that type of thing. But you ask a lot of folks who are down there, including my parents who were just there, and the murder rate, #1 per capita in the country. How are the police, Louisiana's law enforcement, doing in terms of trying to control that city? And do they need to bring back the National Guard?
Well, I do think they need help. I spent a couple of days down there over the weekend talking to a lot of the police who've been under a lot of strain because of the pressure put on them by the high crime rate. Most of them will attribute that crime rate to the flow of drugs through New Orleans. And I think we do need a state and federal effort to help seal that city off, to stop the drugs from flowing in, which is a tribute to most of the murders that's happening in the city.
Would you say that's the National Guard?
Well, there's the National Guard. We've got a lot of federal capability that probably could do some more work there, and we need some more police on the streets in New Orleans. Whether it's the National Guard, that National Guard brigade from the Louisiana National Guard is getting ready to go back to Iraq, Suzanne, in January.
I want you to take a listen. We heard from President Obama over the weekend, his radio address, saying that he would make a pledge to go back to New Orleans by the end of the year. But what one of our Democratic strategists from CNN, James Carville, he felt he's rather concerned, and that's just not good enough for him. He's frustrated. I want you to take a listen to what he told our John King on State of the Union.
The president said he would go there. There are some soon, this year. There are some who are saying, why hasn't he been there already? But take me to your hometown in the sense of 4 years later, what's right, what's still wrong, and is there something the president could do tomorrow, next week, or next month to help out?
First of all, I'm a Democrat, and this is a Democratic president. I would describe myself as slightly miffed that he hadn't been down yet, but he says he's coming down before the end of the year, and we're hospitable people, and we certainly will welcome him. He's had any number of cabinet people that and they've been very, very helpful.
General, does the president need to go down sooner?
I think what we need from the president is for his staff to continue to the progress of releasing some of these decisions that have been in limbo for almost 4 years.
Like what?
Like one of them being the charity hospital. It was a combined effect between the state and the federal government not resolving the amount of money FEMA would pay to rebuild that hospital. Time has passed, the economy has changed. We think the federal government and the people that I talk to in the state, that the federal government should take this on and help the state of Louisiana rebuild that into a world-class medical center for the poor people in the Gulf Coast region.
Has the president done enough in your view?
I think the president and Secretary Napolitano and Mr. Fugate have lessened the amount of bureaucracy it takes, along with the Louisiana Recovery Formation, to start getting through the bureaucracy of releasing that federal money. But there's a lot of federal money sitting there that have not been obligated because they're still arguing over rules. The thing with the charity hospital has been kicked down the road again for an arbitrator to resolve. Okay. The federal government could easily solve that problem, Suzanne.
All right. Thank you very much, Lieutenant Russell+Honoré, for joining us here in the Situation Room.
Thank you.
In the